This time on Motor Week 90, Chevy gives the auto world a styling lesson with its radical new Caprice. Lisa Barrow teaches us how things work at an automobile auction. Pat Goss enlightens us on the subject of automatic transmissions. And Craig Singhas gets a crash course in avoiding terrorism on the street. So come drive with us next.
Motor Week 90, television's automotive magazine, with your host, John Davis.
Well, hello and welcome again to Motor Week 90. We're glad to have you with us. If you took a poll of which automobiles have the most conservative styling, the car that Chevy has been selling under its Caprice nameplate for the last 13 years would be right at the top of everyone's list. It's a look so conservative that police departments all over the country choose it as their main vehicle. Its dated look has become almost synonymous with radar traps. But this is a new decade, and Chevy has introduced an entirely new kind of Caprice. It's as modern and aerodynamic as the old one was traditional and boxy. We think its new look will be a hit with buyers, too. But what will the police think? Believe it or not, local law enforcers will soon be getting Caprices of their own, because despite the new Caprice's swooping looks, it has changed less underneath. Its 2-inch longer and 2.5-inch wider body still sits atop the same sturdy full-frame chassis that's been around since 1977. And even the styling is a mix of old and new. While all its corners are rounded, there's still a big chrome grille. And the rear quarter panels remind us of fender-skirted cars from the 50s. But the overall effect is fresh, attractive, and very daring for a Caprice. As for price, the Caprice begins at $15,995. The Caprice Classic at $17,370. That's about $1,000 more than last year's Classic Brougham. But there are good reasons for the increase, as we'll soon show you. Inside, there's more room than before in most measures. 3 inches more shoulder room and 2 inches more hip room in the front compartment. Rear headroom and legroom are both down, but only by 1/10 of an inch. And again, there is a mix of old and new here. While the dash has a rounded contemporary look, the instruments have that traditional horizontal cop car look. And there are too few of them for our taste. Fuel temperature and speed are the only readouts. On the other hand, we applaud Chevrolet's use of a driver's side airbag. It's standard on all models. As is air conditioning, an AM/FM stereo, intermittent wipers, dual outside mirrors, and lots of storage space. In fact, the only option needed to complete the Caprice for family duty is a rear defroster. A $1,906 preferred option package for the Classic includes tilt wheel, power windows, cruise, and a trick compass in the rearview mirror. Wiper and cruise control switches are located on the steering wheel stalk, while the light switch in traditional American car fashion is on the dash. Controls for the heat and air conditioning are within easy reach and are simple to read and operate. The stereo is located high in the center of the dash. While easy to see, some of our drivers found it a long reach. This Delco Bose cassette system is also part of the preferred option package. As for rear passengers, there's plenty of rear head and legroom, and shoulder belts are standard. For loading cargo, you'll have to lift items over a high sill, but the Caprice's 20.4 cubic feet of trunk space makes up for that. A standard cargo net to keep grocery bags from sliding is a nice touch. As for power, the Caprice gets a familiar 5-liter throttle body-injected V8. It comes mated to a 4-speed overdrive automatic transmission. Horsepower is rated at 170, torque at 255 pound-feet. The only way to get a bigger, more powerful engine is to become a lawman. The police package offers a 195 horsepower 5.7-liter. But the 5-liter delivers enough power to please most family car buyers. Our test car performed better than we expected, needing only 10.5 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour. Its quarter-mile time was also impressive, 17.2 seconds with a final speed of 81. Aside from the numbers, we were impressed with the engine's lively feel and powerful Camaro-like sound. Our Caprice came equipped with the combination handling trailer towing suspension. plow at the front end comes on early and builds predictably. We were surprised by how little the body rolled from side to side, though, and we were impressed with the accuracy and feel of the Caprice's steering. The Caprice is an impressive handling car for its size. Until you take it out on a bumpy road, that is. When asked to deal with bumps and turns at the same time, the solid axle suspension design shows its limitations. As for ride, the Caprice feels great on the highway. On rougher roads, the standard suspension actually handles broken pavement better than the towing suspension. One place that the Caprice chassis has been upgraded is with the addition of electronic anti-lock brakes. Even the base version of the Caprice has them. Stops for our test car from a speed of 60 were short, averaging to a distance of 124 feet. The pedal pulsates noticeably when stopping with this 3-channel Bosch system. Our early production car had some fit problems with the window weather stripping, while body trim had the perfect fit found on most Japanese cars. We were also impressed by the low interior sound level of 66 decibels. Fuel economy numbers for the Caprice are 17 city, 27 highway. We recorded 22 in typical driving. In our safety check, the Caprice passes on 3 of 4 counts, having all the equipment we desire but an airbag for the front passenger. And it's the standard safety equipment, a driver's airbag and anti-lock brakes, that tops our list of hits. We also like the Caprice's interior room, styling, and acceleration. Misses include a dated suspension design that impairs ride and handling on rough surfaces, and a gauge cluster that's too sparse for a modern car. For comparison, there's only one car that competes with the Caprice, Ford's LTD Crown Victoria. The Crown Vic has a price that comes within dollars of our Caprice. It has slightly more rear headroom and more torque for trailer towing. It fails to have anti-lock brakes, and its steering feel is much too light for our taste. Its styling is also still too much like a box. The Chevrolet Caprice is an unusual mix of tradition and technology. While we applaud GM for taking a chance with the styling, we wish they had done the same with the chassis to improve rough road ride and handling. On the other hand, this Caprice is the first bread and butter 4-door to offer both anti-lock brakes and a driver airbag as standard. This sets a precedent that no other manufacturer can ignore, and it makes the buxom 1991 Chevrolet Caprice something of a milestone in family sedans.